Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digitalisation and the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West Constituency, the Queen of Digitalisation, Honorable Ursula Owusu-Ekuful.
Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Communications, heads and representatives of ministries, departments, and agencies, Senior Vice President of the Catholic Relief Services, heads and representatives of international and local organizations, distinguished delegates from all over the world, about 700 of you, welcome. Esteemed sponsors, partners, speakers, guests, media partners, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and people of the Republic of Ghana, it's my singular honor and privilege to extend a very warm welcome to you all to the 12th ICT for Development Conference. And when I was thinking through my speech, it just occurred to me that before the world woke up to the developmental potential of digital technology, CRS had. Thank you. Akwaba, I'm very grateful to all of you for making it to Accra, the center of the earth. It literally is. And accepting the invitation to attend this conference and to share some of your insights into this fast-growing field which is impacting upon all our lives. If we doubted it, I think this week on the on the West African continent has brought to light how indispensable digital connectivity is to everything we do. And so I'm optimistic that this two-day event will help foster partnerships and expand our networks of friends in this ecosystem. I bring the apologies of His Excellency the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who had planned to deliver this keynote address, but had to attend to other equally important events which were prearranged and within the same period. But he is here with us in spirit and would love to interact with you at some later stage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're privileged to host this important conference for the second time. I believe the first time Ghana hosted it was in 2013. And so why don't you make it the permanent home of the conference? Think about it. We partnered CRS, the Catholic Relief Services, to host this event because we believe in the power of technology and think it will give us the opportunity to showcase some of the few things we have done over the years since we commenced the implementation of our National ICT for Accelerated Development Policy in 2003, formulated by our former President, J.A. Kufuor. This policy identified 14 key pillars that address all the sectors of the economy to embrace ICTs in the operations and functions of the various sectors. We've seen, like all of us, we've witnessed tremendous growth. I remember the first ever mobile phone that was introduced into this country by Mobitel at the time. It used to be carried in its own box. And the current president was the head of my law firm at the time. So his driver used to carry his phone behind him every time climbing up the stairs. And I'm still looking for one of those phones, but I still haven't found any. I'm sure they've all been sold for scrap. But from that huge box to this little palm-sized device, we've come a long way. We've seen tremendous changes with even the telecom subscriber growth, From the days when SIM cards were priced like gold, you needed to know somebody and be connected to be able to get a SIM card. Now you can pick it up for free. We really have come a long way. Internet penetration has grown. There's general acceptance of the larger populace of the benefits of ICTs in the provision of all services. Government services have been made more accessible, efficient, and transparent, with reduction in turnaround time for all these services being witnessed. We in Ghana have taken advantage of the opportunities offered by the fourth industrial revolution to transform our economy and provide a firm foundation for growth. This government has utilized digital technology in a quest to re-engineer our economy and, to use the hackneyed phrase, leapfrog the development. Since 2017, we started implementing our Digital Ghana agenda, which is our vision to leverage technology to deliver public services, promote transparency, efficiency, and easy access to all citizens, irrespective of location. We believe we put in place the foundational pillars to serve as the building blocks on which to provide sustainable growth in our economy. We started by rolling out our EID project, our National Identification Program, which is providing digital identity for some 17 million citizens so far. And just last week, we launched the program to provide newborn babies with their own digital IDs. From the days when we had to provide directions to various locations using physical landmarks, leading to numerous challenges for even the provision of utility services and for providing proper banking KYCs. We now have the digital property address system, which has provided a proper identification for every 5 square kilometers of land in this country, even those underwater. We've also implemented the mobile money interoperability system, which has made it possible for direct and seamless transfer of funds from one mobile company to the other, from mobile money wallets to mobile money wallets across networks and between bank accounts as well, bringing financial inclusion to those who were unbanked previously. And so when our Vice President indicated that we'll put a bank account in everyone's hands, this is what we meant. By using technology, we literally have a bank in everyone's pocket. Many who are unbanked have now found these mobile money accounts very, very handy to transact businesses. And so for those of us who are politicians too, it's put us in the firing line, because you can't say to a constituent who asks for money that, I don't know how to get the money to you. You just say, wire it, and it will come to me seamlessly. The paperless port system, National Identity Register, Digital Property Addressing System, the Ghana.gov Payments and Services Application Platform, which makes it possible for citizens to apply and pay for public services in over 300 state institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies, and our local government system seamlessly from anywhere in the country, has also been operationalized. We think that we can also use technology to reduce the human interface and thereby fight corruption in a more practical way instead of just theorizing. And in all that, just by instituting this platform, we have seen a tremendous growth in the revenue that has come to all state institutions, because the payments are received directly into the consolidated fund without leaking into individual pockets. And it has brought relief to citizens and some relief to the exchequer as well. We're aware of how much technology can transform all sectors of the economy if we properly integrate it in all we do. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, we seem to have forgotten the lessons that we learned from COVID, but we shouldn't. It was a pivotal way of God focusing our minds on the essentials. And we realized that through digital technology and infrastructure and connectivity, we were able to work from home during the lockdowns, keep in touch with friends and family, keep the government business and private businesses afloat, and learn. We were able to keep our students in school through virtual or blended instructions, conducted important meetings and transactions. We also implemented in Ghana the largest drone delivery system in the world using the zipline technology, which is enabling us to deliver essential medical supplies across the country and was absolutely pivotal in our response to COVID as well, where even test results and test samples were delivered by drones. After 21 years of our ICT for accelerated development policy and its implementation, we've observed that technology has advanced, as we all do, and we're in the area of emerging technologies such as big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, generative AI, augmented reality, Internet of Things, blockchain, cloud computing, etc. Today, our regulators in developing economies such as Ghana are concerned with the blurring of traditional ICT services brought about by advances in technology and the advent of new trends in ICTs, essentially converged telecoms, internet services, as well as the rapid growth of value-added and over-the-top applications, which has disrupted the regulatory environment and requires much more agility, understanding, and innovation to ensure that the sector not just thrives, but grows. These technologies, while bringing enormous reliefs to government institutions and citizens in accessing information and knowledge due to the information boom on prices, have also driven the prices of telecom and internet services further down. So governments are also scrambling to see how we can also maximize our revenues from this sector, while making sure that those over-the-top service and value-added service providers contribute towards the establishment and rollout of the infrastructure on which they provide these services. And so now we've seen that many of them have invested in subsea cables, which are bringing the capacity of these huge telecoms giants to various parts of the world. Google has landed its cable in several parts of the world. The Facebook Meta-led consortium is also in the process of landing their cables on various shores. It arrived in Ghana in November last year. Now, in addition to the cables, they also have to think about the transmission network that's going to send all that data and information to the individual mobile devices that we utilize. But it's an ongoing conversation, and I'm sure in time we'll find some resolution about that. How does government also earn some revenue from all these services as well to enable us develop the other parts of our economies? These are all also ongoing conversations. One of the key pillars in our digital journey is the development of digital skills for our youthful population and equipping them with entrepreneurial acumen, motivation, and confidence to be able to compete with their peers in other jurisdictions, as well as be ready to provide solutions that can solve Ghanaian and African problems. Now, it's important that we provide the infrastructure on which connectivity rides and enables us to all engage in that. What we've seen these past few days shows us that the digital connectivity is absolutely essential, and it's as much as utility as electricity or water, because it is indispensable to everything that we're trying to do, and it is of great use in all sectors. It's cross-cutting. Now, when the connectivity is in place, we layer on them various applications and services like the various tools that I've spoken about. If we don't know how to use those applications or services to our benefit, they are of no more use than a desktop computer or a laptop sitting on the table of a totally tech illiterate. And so it's important that we give our young people the digital skills that will enable them, not just, well, our young people, but all of us, the digital skills that will enable us to use the applications and services that are riding on the connectivity that we're providing. It is conferences like these that open our eyes to the various emerging technologies out there and how we can utilize it for real growth, real development in the various sectors in which we perform. And so it's absolutely critical that we provide our young people with the digital skills that they require. And through that, we can solve multiple problems, not least including the youth unemployment problem in many of our jurisdictions, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, when Africa is the youngest continent on earth, plagued with so many challenges. This provides us with an opportunity to deal head-on with many of the challenges that we face on the continent, from climate change through to unemployment and everything in between. This ICT4D conference has proven to be one of the most attended in-person conferences globally, and your presence here testifies to that. Thank you for making time to attend. It's a convergence of minds and expertise in the realms of ICTs to deliberate on the developmental issues that affect us all. This gathering of over 700 bright minds, pioneers in the field of ICT, and champions of humanitarian work signifies a powerful testament to the collective vision we share, a vision of leveraging technology to empower communities, bridge inequalities, and unlock a brighter future for all. Just before I came, I was watching a clip on CNN about what's happening in Haiti, where even access to health services have become a real challenge. And I was wondering how Médecins Sans Frontières is doing an amazing job in these challenged economies. But if they had robust connectivity, they could also benefit from virtual healthcare. If they had robust connectivity, they could also, in little rooms, have simulators that could train young doctors on using virtual reality tools and artificial intelligence. And not only Haiti, but all of us in this developing world can benefit from simple IT tools like that can train our young medical professionals remotely and enable them to also assist the various at need populations where they are. And I believe that through technology, we can all come together. I'm using this because I'm appealing indirectly to CRS to think about what they can do to help the healthcare ecosystem in our country and in many of your other jurisdictions through utilizing some of these tools, working in collaboration with our medical authorities to see how we can bring remote learning to a lot more people who don't have access to the skilled personnel that would need to provide in-person learning to them. And using simulators which will enable medical students to train virtually before being unleashed on live humans to practice their craft. We believe, and artificial intelligence as well, to provide remote diagnostics. We believe that we don't need the expensive medical equipment. They can send the images to experts far away from where they are, and they would read it and send back the accurate diagnosis to them, and it can cut the cost of medical training by half, if not more, if we utilize these tools. So CRS, we're appealing to you to set up a medical simulation and training center in conjunction with our physicians and college of physicians and surgeons and our medical facilities, and replicate it in many of the other countries where you live and learn. This is ICT for development. And let's see how we can use the tools to solve many of the emerging problems that we have around us today, as we embark on a journey that not only celebrates the transformative power of technology, but underscores our collective commitment to harnessing it for the betterment of society. This conference has 3 themes. Digital to tackle wicked problems, I've been told, wicked problems. Data innovations for impact, and local leadership for a digital future. These have been carefully crafted to solicit pragmatic solutions and use cases that can be shared for the collective good of all. The ICT4D framework will serve as a catalyst for inclusive growth, empowerment, and sustainable progress, particularly in regions facing socioeconomic challenges. This platform, unique platform, created by the Catholic Relief Services, is a force that has the potential to bridge the digital divide, amplify voices, and pave the way for a more equitable world. The cross-cutting nature of ICT as an enabler across sectors has led to innovations and immense development and growth in many areas, including health, education, commerce, entrepreneurship, and agriculture, among others. It's become indispensable for development, especially in our part of the world. Ghana is committed to the ICT for development agenda. In fact, the ICT policy we're currently implementing is still our ICT for Accelerated Development Policy of 2003. We're in the process of amending it and updating it to our digital economy policy. Several actions taken by the government of Ghana in recent years demonstrate our strong political commitment to digitalization and digitization of the Ghanaian economy, led by the Vice President himself, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We call him our digital champion. We're working very hard, as other countries are, to implement initiatives and programs that address the Sustainable Goal 17, which calls for innovation through digitalization and legal activities. Similarly, digitalization and new technologies are crucial to the achievement of all the SDGs. We're actively committed to bridging the digital divide, ensuring equitable access to technology across our nation. So even in our unserved and underserved communities, the government is partnering with the private sector to roll out a shared infrastructure network to connect some 4 million people with 2,016 cell sites under our rural telephony project, as we seek to leave no one behind. We're also focused on narrowing the various forms of digital divides, from gender to youth to persons with disability and to all others, including our aged as well. They told me that my Girls in ICT program emphasis is good, but I should also remember that for those retirees and our senior citizens as well, ICTs can also help them to stay connected. And they were all born before the computer, so we should have carefully crafted programs that will bring them also into the digital age. And I thought that was a worthwhile call that they made, because one of the most avid Facebookers that I know is an 82-year-old auntie of mine, and she keeps me up to date with the latest information on social media. If she can do it, everyone else can. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the conference promises to be highly interactive, sparking discussions with exciting questions, practical workshops, learning carousels, and demonstrations. There will be opportunities to explore new business interests and exchange innovations, experience, and practices that have worked in difficult circumstances with all of us. From cutting-edge research to real-world applications, our discussions will span a myriad of topics, including but not limited to enhancing healthcare delivery, education, promoting agricultural productivity, fostering entrepreneurship, and digitalizing government processes through the power of technology. Considering that the entire principle of ICT4D hinges on leveraging the power of technology to drive development and improvement in the lives of the people, we must be mindful of the potential of these same technologies in perpetuating and possibly aggravating existing inequalities and some ills of society. Cybersecurity is the other coin of digitalization. Just as we're using ICT for development, the antisocial elements and criminal elements are also using it to advance their craft. And so we must be mindful of that, as they seem to be one step ahead of law enforcement. And so let's work to see how we can protect the various innovations that we are promoting to drive development from being corrupted for less than optimal uses, which would be less beneficial to all of us. I urge you to re-emphasize it and make it central to the discussions at this conference. Ethical considerations and the intentionality of addressing inequalities in the use of ICT should be high on the agenda. I also encourage you to discuss how our school systems could be futuristic and responsive to the changes that are happening around us, and our health and agricultural systems as well, and how progress in technology can be reflected more in these areas. I also encourage you to actively participate, collaborate, and exchange ideas. Let's leverage our collective expertise, experiences, and perspectives to chart a path towards a more inclusive and sustainable future. Together, we can harness the transformative potential of ICT4D to create positive change and uplift communities around the globe. I take this opportunity to commend the CRS team for successfully organizing this event in Ghana. Thank you for bringing it back to Ghana. It was also made possible by your sponsors, so I'm grateful that they put their financial might behind this conference. The speakers, partners, and organizing committees, the team at the MOCD, thank you too for working so hard with CRS to bring this conference, to make this conference a reality, and for your unwavering support and dedication as well. The commitment to advancing the ICT4D agenda is truly commendable, and I have no doubt that our collective efforts will yield tangible results, not just in Ghana, but around the globe. Thank you all for your time, and I wish you a very successful and impactful discussions while I wait for the outcome document of this conference to see how we can also leverage on it to improve our own developmental agenda. Thank you, and Akwaba once again.